I'm about to whip somebody's arm.
Now, from the Autoglass America studios, it's the Mike Calta After Show.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Poor Ralph. Here you go, Ralph. You choose me? Happy Valentine's.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Ah, yes. It is Valentine's Day. The day for lovers and a day for the hungover from last night's Super Bowl. This is Happy Hour, filling in for Carmen in the Mike Calta After Show. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, hanging out with you. We have 38 minutes of talking time in this hour, so I want to hear from everybody out there. Are you a lover? Are you a friend? Are you a hater? Are you mad about the Bengals winning losing the Super Bowl? I wanted them to win. I liked Joe Burrow's swagger and his BDE, but I grew up watching the Bears play the Lions like twice a year, unfortunately. So I feel like I know Matthew, so I'm just going to call him that during the show. And I'm really happy for Matthew for winning his first Super Bowl, but I would have preferred that Joe Burrow win. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. So last night was the weirdest Super Bowl of my life. Now, radio is a very easy job. It's hard. It's monotonous. You have to think. It's not just pushing buttons, but it is just pushing buttons. It's a lot of mental work. It's a lot of audio work. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like digging ditches, but I am getting up at 5:05 a.m. to produce the best morning show in radio. So a lot of times I have to set my brain up to want to go to bed. So last night I had a few invitations to like a Super Bowl party or an invitation to hang out in the living room and watch the Super Bowl. But I literally laid in bed from 4:30 watching the pregame show and Drew Brees' fake hair until about 10:05 when the game was over with. And right when they didn't get that fourth down, I turned it off because I despise everything Los Angeles Rams. I hate the fact that they literally don't have a fan base. They couldn't sell out during the regular season. Nobody cared. And even if they did sell out, the 49ers fans would make it seem like it was in San Francisco. Like, they don't have a huge fan base. But then, during the Super Bowl, everybody wears their Rams outfit and flexes their $1 million and gets to go, and it looks like they have a fan base. And what really hurts about the Rams winning, and I'm a Tampa transplant, so I'm not going to act like I'm the biggest fan of the Buccaneers. I wanted to be when I first moved to town, but I hate everything Jameis, and I think he's an awful person. That's just my opinion, not of anybody else. I just don't like the guy. So it was very hard to root for the Bucs when I first moved here. And then they get Tom Brady, and they win. And I like the idea, man. I like the idea that we were the one city that had the home team win in their house. And then you have the Rams the next year win the NFC Championship at home, and they win the Super Bowl at home. I don't know, man. It hurt. But then I came up with this idea in my head. Inflation is going through the roof in Florida. Things are going up and up. My rent's going up, and we're having to move into a new apartment that's like $250 more. The price of living here is going up. And to me, I think it's because everyone's realizing that Florida's pretty badass. I think everyone's realizing that Florida's nice. And it seems to be a little bit since when the Buccaneers won, everybody wanted to move to Tampa, especially during COVID, where we never really shut down, besides for about 7 weeks. So I'm hoping that Los Angeles winning will cause everybody to go move over there and get out of Florida. I am hoping that Los Angeles winning makes that city cool again, where everybody who moved here just to fit in can get out. Because the roads are way too crowded, everything is way too expensive, and I've been here about 70% of a decade, if I'm going to be exact. And the original Tampa Bay in 2015, I miss that vibe, man. The 2015 Tampa, and I wasn't here prior, so let me know if you've seen a change in scenery or anything over the years living in the Tampa Bay area. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. It's just getting so expensive. And this is not a rip into anything, but places aren't paying anymore, and then things are going up. Like, here's an example of when you know things are going up. Is when you go to Publix, and I'm used to getting hummus with the pretzels, 2 for $5. Now it's like $7, and you laugh and you go, ha, ha, ha. But you really think about it, that's $2. And we're living on the same planet with the same food and the same gasoline. It's not like things are going up and the housing is going up here. And I don't know how I got here from Super Bowl talk, but it's really weird if you really think of the concept of prices going up. Now, I'm not going to sit here. I didn't get a business major. I don't know much about anything. That's why I work in radio. But I am going to tell you that everything that is going up is the same thing you had before. It's not like the chicken wings going up at your local grocery shop. Like the chicken wings are better. Like, it's a very, deep thought, because I know there's much more that goes into it than just that. But I just feel like not every corporation needs to make the prices go up. I feel like there's some examples where they could keep the prices normal, and let me know if I'm wrong, and I'm completely okay with being wrong. I got all D's in school. But I just feel like the companies are like, well, if these companies have to have prices go up, everybody can, because then it's like, what are they going to say? The prices don't need to go up? 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. I want to ask you this, Tampa. Why does everybody hate Chris Collinsworth? Now, am I saying he's the most perfect announcer? Not at all. Am I saying he's the all-time great? Not at all. But he says a lot of good things. Can he be really mean towards a team and kind of passive-aggressive? Yeah. Would I want to hang out with him? Yeah. Because he's cool. I like what he does. But at the same time, I feel like when Romo might say the same thing as Chris, you either love or hate Romo. So you go, oh, wow, that was a good opinion, or wow, I hate Romo. But it seems like with Collinsworth, everybody hates on him. All right, we're starting to get calls here. People are knowing that this is a good show. Hi, 727. Happy Valentine's Day. Who's this?
Hey, Hoppe. It's Mike. How are you?
What's happening, Mike?
Hey, man. So listen. So when you were talking about inflation and why things can't go up,
teach me.
It all starts with gas. It all starts with gasoline, my friend.
Okay.
Everything's got to get delivered on a truck. Price of gas goes up. Everything goes up. It's that simple.
Do you see from, I'm not going to say uneducated because I don't want to talk myself down, but do you see from my angle of not knowing that I feel like some companies don't need to make everything go up? Or is that completely and utterly wrong?
It's completely wrong.
Okay.
Everything has to be trucked.
Yes.
Every company that gets material, no matter where it comes from, has to get trucked there. When the price of fuel almost doubles in a year and a half, you have no choice but to lay that price down to the consumer.
And see, some radio guys would have cut you off and been like, oh, I'm right all the time. I'm completely fine with being wrong. That's why I am glad you called in, because that makes more sense. You know what I mean? I appreciate you listening. What are your plans for Valentine's Day tonight? You got any hot plans?
No, I'm married 18 years.
Hell yeah, bro.
I gave her flowers this morning. I gave her a kiss. Say I got to go to work.
Well, man, have a good day. Thank you. All right, let me put these calls on hold. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Wow, the 727, man, Pinellas Park, Pinellas County is really listening today. They are all tuned in. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi.
Do you have it on Bluetooth or speaker? I would have had a phone screener say this, but they're not there. Is it on Bluetooth or speaker? So what happened was the phone for the last person was like breaking up, and I didn't know what the hell was going to be said. So I was like, better to be safe than sorry. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yeah, what's happening, 727? What's your name?
My name's Hank.
What's happening, Hank?
I was listening to the guy talking about the gas prices and trucking prices and stuff. All that makes perfect sense for goods and services, but my rent this year went up by 33%, went up from $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Bro.
When I asked them why, it wasn't because of gas prices. They said because we can charge more because everybody else is.
That's what I was getting at. Because I'm not like the biggest wordsmith, so that guy expressed what I was thinking, but just said it differently. But that's what I'm thinking too, because here's what's going on, bro. At my apartment complex, they essentially are kicking us out, and they're like, you can either sign a 7-month deal when it was a year, or you can move into a place that's more expensive, and then when you move out, we're going to renovate your place. And it's like, I'm really grateful to have a place, but isn't it bizarre when you think about this planet we're on in the middle of outer space, and literally, it's not like that new apartment that you have or that I'm getting is any different than the older one. It's just more money. Isn't it fascinating how they can just do that?
Yeah. I've been in the same apartment for this is my 5th year, and every year you expect to go up a little bit, $50, $75 a month, or $100 maybe, but to go from $1,500 to $2,000 instantly, and there's absolutely no cost increase for them. This made no sense to me. It just seems like, hey, let's go ahead and gouge the American public because we can.
Bro, the most heartbreaking thing, I don't know if you've seen this at your apartment, is the people that genuinely cannot afford to live, that have to move out, and you're like sheepishly waving at them as they're moving out because they can't afford to live there. I had that all over my apartment complex. Bro, it was so heartbreaking. Like, all these neighbors, like, I don't know their name, but you get to nod at them every morning. Like, they're not there anymore because they can't afford to live. It's unbelievable, bro.
Absolutely. It's just, people taking advantage. You would think that people would look out for their neighbors and take care of people and, try and work around. I mean, why not give some loyalty? I've been there for 5 years. I've been a good tenant, not caused any problems, got people to come and rent there, and then they're just going to go make an extra, $6,000 off of me just because they can. That just doesn't seem right.
Well, my man, you have any fun plans for Valentine's Day tonight?
No, but I just broke up with my girlfriend a couple weeks ago, so,
if
any of your listeners there, you can give them my number. Any women out there want give them my number, I'll take them out to dinner.
Also, there's a recommendation that I have for you, for all the single men out there that are alone, and I'm going to play the sound effect to explain it. It's man's best friend. Now, granted, that was just the sound effect, and that wasn't me on the actual website. But during these times, man, I was single for 4 years and then for 21 years until I was like 22. And Pornhub, people can rip into the adult business and say it's a bunch of smut or whatever, but God bless it, bro. It really comes in handy, no pun intended.
Well, yeah, it does, but, I'd much rather, it's kind of hard to kiss the screen and stuff like that and, cuddle with the laptop,
It's all good, my man. I appreciate the call. All right. I was trying to, be, positive, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are alone on Valentine's Day, and I felt that for so long. I remember every year after my breakup and after my second breakup, I would take a picture of my hand and be like, Happy Valentine's Day, and I thought I was so edgy and funny. And now I see it every time that I go on Snapchat memories and I cringe. I'm like, no wonder I wasn't getting laid, Just taking a picture of my hand. I genuinely thought that was funny. And it was funny the first year. I got 100 likes. Then I think people got the point. They're like, we get it, Ryan. You watch a lot of pornography. On that note, hi, you're on the air.
Hi, how you doing, Hoppy?
What's happening, my man? What's your name?
Hi, so my name's TJ.
What's happening, my man?
So, I was thinking, I know you're not a financial advisor, but with everything constantly going up, my fiance and I's tax returns coming through, do you think it'd be smart to just pay the rent for the whole year in advance?
Do you have it where no, I'm no financial advisor. I am not
Yeah.
the guy that's on
What would you do?
CNBC. What's his name? The maniac that yells. So I'm not a money expert. I don't want anybody out there to make money decisions based off of Ryan John Hoppe on 102.5 The Bone. but let me ask you, my man, is it where if you paid it, would you have enough money for the rest of the year and it's not that big of a deal? Or like, when they say if you can't afford what you're about to buy, if you can't afford two things of it, then you shouldn't buy it. So if you can't afford burgers for $30, you shouldn't buy one for $15. Is that the same thing where you could afford twice the amount, or would it break the bank?
Oh, no, I could afford it. It would eliminate rent completely for the year. Tax returns kind of like money you don't feel like it's there naturally. So when it comes in, it's like, okay, a little extra. So that works out good.
Do you plan on just living there for the whole year and not like breaking the lease and moving?
Yeah, that's what we're planning on doing because it's a manufactured home. We own the manufactured home. It's the lot rent, which isn't a crazy amount. It's like $500-$600 a month. Nothing crazy. So we can easily afford it every month. But with everything constantly going up, it's like, whoa, is it going to jump again?
Yeah, I would just pay it.
If
again? You can pay it and it doesn't break the bank, listen, I'm no financial advisor, once again. But yeah. I'm saying I definitely think you should, just to get it out of the way. Because they're sneaky, bro. With all the little, like, when you, like, sign a new lease, they have all the, like, information in that little type. And you literally are selling your soul. Like, you don't even know what you're signing. You're just so grateful to have a place, especially in this economy.
Yeah. And also, really quick, I wanted to mention, is there a new trend going on in the NFL? You get an old veteran and put him on a team, load the team up, win the Super Bowl? Looks like the last 2 or 3 years it's been, that kind of way with, Tom Brady going to Bucks, load up the Bucks.
I think Russell Wilson should. I think Russell Wilson should come here. That'd be the smartest move for him.
What's the odds of Aaron Rodgers coming over here?
Bro, Aaron Rodgers won a joke of a Super Bowl. Hear me out. He, first of all, had the best record in the NFC. Oh, no. He was a wild card team. He beat Michael Vick in the first round. Then I forget it. I think he played the Falcons in the next round who choked. And then he didn't even play Jay Cutler. He played Caleb Haney. And I was watching that game because I'm from Chicago. And then in the Super Bowl, he played Big Ben. He has now won something in 11 years. I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer and he's not an all-time great or whatnot, but I would rather have Russell Wilson. I would rather have Kyler Murray than...
Ooh, that's Kyler Murray.
Because there's more potential. Aaron Rodgers, bro, he's like 40. Like, I just don't see Aaron Rodgers' conditioning and health to be as elite as Brady.
All right, that's cool. All right, well, good talking to you, Ryan. Love the show.
All right, thank you, homie. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. We are really hearing from the neighbors today. The neighbors are really hitting me up. I don't know if it's because they're alone on Valentine's Day or whatnot, but we will get to these calls and then take a break at the bottom of the hour.
Phone.com.
Oh, prank dial. I remember when I used to get a good prank dial, it would be like prankdial.com was this website where people could like have a prank sent to a phone number, and it was like back in 2011. And I remember one of them was a guy who owned a porn shop, and it would read the most vulgar, hideous, non-FCC friendly words ever. Like whatever you think is vulgar on an adult website, that wasn't even. And they'd be like, this movie, part 2, like, you know how porns have weird names? And I remember like these kids that I went to high school with, they would call my house, and then my dad would pick up, and he was like Roman Catholic and offended by anything. A leaf could fall from a tree, and he'd be offended. And I remember he was listening, and he legitimately thought that I was watching those movies, because I was.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's the Mike Calta After Show on 102.5 The Bone. Now, back to the Mike Calta After Show.
Oh, yeah. I really wanted to play this song on the Hotline by Pretty Ricky, but I feel like even the radio edit, the cleanest version, is not safe for FCC radio. So I just went with the beat. Oh, it's such a raunchy song. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. Up next is Roger and JP. Then it is Drew Garabo Live with John Senning. Then it is A Cat Named Mo with Gareth and Spike. And then Johnny B Show. All right. Let's get to these calls. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, Hoppy. I've got a really smart idea for you to think about in this whole thing whenever you're talking about all the rent going up and all that.
What's happening?
Let me put it this way. I know somebody that's got a rental properties. Their insurance, okay, from year to year changes every year.
Yes.
Their insurance last year, well, I should say this year, $1,000 increase.
So
okay, so the $1,000 increase for insurance for one place, and then the taxes on the place went up by $800 on top of what it was. So that's $1,800 increase for one place. Who's going to eat that? Should the landlord eat that?
Dude, and the weird part is, like, talking to landlords at times or, like, people that run the property, it's like, I get that you have to evict people. I get that you can't be our friend because we just pay rent or whatever. But, man, there is something really underrated about a really nice landlord or somebody that's, like, the front desk. Like, you can say, oh, I like going to a fancy place to eat for Valentine's Day, and that's great. But having nice people that represent where you live, if it's the front office or whatnot, it just makes your life so much simpler, bro.
I know somebody right now. They have houses. They've grown up, the poor and all that. They finally made it on their own. They bought houses, fixed them up. They got them out as rentals. They have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage house right now. Market value for them to rent that thing out is like $1,800. They've got they haven't increased the rent on the person. They're at like $1,250. You know that person is late every month paying the rent. Every month they're late.
Yeah.
But yet they're and now, you know, with the market being what it is, houses are a big boom. They're like, look, you're always paying late. You're not in a lease. You know, you got to go. And they've given them 6 months notice, and those people still haven't even found a spot because they think they're going to get the same thing for $1,250 a month. And it's like, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,250 a month.
The other thing is, I feel like prior to the pandemic and inflation, it may have been safer to not sign a lease and go month to month. But essentially, you're just kind of like lucky to live there, and they can kick you out whenever. Like, you kind of have to sign a lease. You know, our place was like, you will see, I might just be speaking from my example of what was going through our life, but they said either sign a 7-month deal or at any time, essentially, we can kick you out because we have to renovate the place to make the rent go up.
Yes and no. Tenants have a lot more rights than what you think. Just from what I've heard about. Yeah. Like I said, I know people that have rental properties, houses that they rent out. And like I said, they've got people that haven't paid on time in 6 months. And they're behind like $400, you know. It adds up. They could kick them out anytime they want. They don't want to kick them out because then they got to paint the place and do this, do that. I mean, there's a lot to do. But it just cracks me up. And here's the other thing to that.
Yeah.
Think about this one.
What's up?
Services have all gone up. When you go out to a restaurant to eat, the servers and waitresses and all that, they want $15 an hour now. Well, everything else has to go up to compensate for that.
Listen, I don't know much about money. I don't know much about, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know enough, but I am not an expert on any of this. But I will tell you, I'm really good at picking up vibes because I'm a very empathetic person, and it comes with my ADHD. I feel things hard. So if somebody talks crap about me, I feel it harder than the next person. So I can really feel out situations. And let me tell you, I'm not saying that America's going downhill or that we should be nervous, but in the 28 years that I've been alive, man, I'm a little nervous. Not overly nervous. Like, I know we'll be fine, but I definitely think a new era is upon us. I don't know what's going to happen in that era, but it's going to be something.
The thing that gets me about the whole era, and I'm fine with people want a living wage and all that, which I get that. working at McDonald's or fast food or whatever, that's not supposed to be a living wage. That's supposed to be extra money for high schoolers. You know, if you're 30 years old, you shouldn't be working at McDonald's. You should actually have be directed toward a career. And people that think college should be free, somebody's got to pay for it. All those professors aren't going to teach if they're not getting paid, so somebody's got to pay. The American tax dollar shouldn't pay for it. You know, if you want some assistance in going to college, I understand that. You want a low interest rate, I understand that. But you should still have to pay it back.
My thing, too, about the free college, again, not a financial advisor, but it's like nothing that's ever that good is free. Like, for example, the other night I was watching Wayne's World for the first time ever with my girlfriend on this app, IMDb TV. And it would just interrupt the movie for like a 5-minute commercial break. And that's why the service is free. Nothing in life that's free is ever that good. So and I'm not ripping into millennials because, again, I'm not a financial advisor. But when they're like free college, free college, free college, I'm like, well, what's the catch? There's always a catch.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I'm 50 years old. I think I'll go to college for 2 years, and everybody else can pay for it. I'd like to go to college for free. That'd be awesome.
Do you have any plans for?
Somebody's got to pay.
Do you have any plans for Valentine's Day tonight?
Me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to see my girlfriend.
Oh, hell
Saw
yeah!
her last night. Took her out to dinner yesterday. Nice dinner at Carrabba's.
God, how much you spending, bro? Don't spend too much.
Actually, I had a gift card from work for Christmas, and I used that and paid a little bit and good to go.
I am in a lucky relationship where gift cards are not looked down upon. I love a good gift card.
Oh, yeah, good gift cards are awesome.
It's like the best feeling ever because then when the bill comes and it's only like $40 and then you spend like $50, you feel like a real baller.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, my
friend. You have a good day.
You too, bro. That guy was like a legit amazing caller. Like if you're wondering, man, sometime I should call a radio show. Well, if I were to call a radio show, I want to make sure that my presentation is good. I want to make sure that I'm really good on air. Listen to that call again. I don't know where you would, but that was a really good call. I bet this call is going to be good too. We are going to manifest positivity on Happy Hour, filling in for Carmen on the Mike Calta Show. And I can hear people, and I'm not trying to manifest it, but I can hear people going, happy sex, da-da-da. Cool. 727-579-1025. Hi, you're on the air.
Oh, I was hoping I was going to be the lucky caller.
What's up?
Okay, so just a few things. One, I think we should get Josh Mack. Just keep taking stuff from the Patriots. Two, I am a single mom.
Yes.
And in 2020, when we were getting the stimulus checks, I took that money to put down on a house, and I bought my children and I a house. Mind you, I'm on disability due to a domestic issue. So although it's not the state minimum because I worked hard when I was younger, it's a livable income. Now, if people took their tax returns instead of paying their late rent and just went and bought a house.
Yeah.
I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2.5 car garage with the pool, and my mortgage is $1,000 a month. Now,
yeah, go on.
There aren't things set up to help renters, but are things set up by the government to help homeowners. So as soon as you tell your finance company that you're going to be late, they step in with some kind of COVID relief and take over the mortgage payment for you. I had to do it for 2 months because my son had an accident and needed a car. So there's definitely more out there, and you only have to have a 580 credit score to get a loan with the FHA. And I don't think people realize that. So it's really easy to buy instead of rent. And that's really the way that these people should be going instead of paying their back rent because they're just going to get behind again.
So what I like about your call is that you're very legitimate, and I can tell you're a hardworking single mom. So to some other hardworking single moms out there that might be down on themselves, what would you want to say to them? Because I really dig your vibe, and I'm being genuine.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. When there's a will, there's a way. I would go to what used to be the dollar store.
Damn right.
I would go in there with my phone and have my phone on eBay. and I would scan random things they had there to see what they were selling for at eBay. Not every dollar store has the same thing. So sometimes there's things selling at the dollar store $4 that sell on eBay for $10. So let me get 10 of those. I'm going to sell those on eBay. Things like that moms can do to make some money. Work at home. I've been working from home part-time. Well, at one time it was full-time for like 13 years.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you were doing it prior to everybody, so you knew about what it was like to work at home before everybody else.
They all think it's scams, but it's not. There's a legit Facebook page that has legit jobs and all that stuff. Places like Home Depot, actually, little secret, Home Depot is hiring in Florida work at home for $17 an hour.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Well, to all the listeners out there that need a job, definitely take up on that offer. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, guys. Bye.
All right, bye. Let me see who this is. Let me put this on hold here. This is from a 630, so that is Chicago. Hi, you're on the air. Hi, you're on the air. What's happening?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you. You've mentioned it a few times, ADHD. I have twin boys that are ADHD.
And what do you need? What do you need? What do you need advice about, my friend?
Well, I just wanted to kind of get your take on, being, 10 years old, what you recall. I'll tell you, it's a bitch dealing with it for.
So are you saying So are you trying to ask me what I dealt with while taking meds at a young age?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's obviously something that, is pretty traumatic for a 10-year-old. Like I said, I've got twin 10-year-olds, and they just don't understand it. They don't understand why they get the way they do, and neither do we as parents, to be honest.
Here's my answer. My answer is I am a very much 1990s kid in the way that I've probably been on 20 meds. I took the 1990s, early 2000s route, my parents did, of trying each different med. So one med would do this, I would wet the bed, but in the end, but here's the thing is I am not you. I don't know what it's like to be a parent, but it can be worth it. Like, if they're anxious, Klonopin helps me. Like 2 weeks ago, I almost didn't get a refill of Klonopin, and I was crying at the house because it helps out my speech impediment in my brain. And that's just me being real. So I would say do what your heart says. And when you look for somebody that can get you the meds, make sure they have really good reviews. Like, there's nothing wrong with seeing a top-notch person because they're putting meds in your kid's body. And I do believe that meds work, but I don't think everybody needs meds. So definitely see a professional. But it definitely has helped me.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the advice. We do. They do go to counseling, and they do have a doctor, and we try and do like the lowest dose as possible.
Yeah.
For their medication.
Which, if you don't mind me saying, which meds are they on? Do you know?
They were on Zoloft. They're on Zoloft.
Dude, that made me so anxious. I don't know what it was about Zoloft, bro, but it was weird. Some of them would make me feel like I was on fire. And then Klonopin. Klonopin and Lamictal are the two meds I take. And that is just the most beautiful combination. Like, I literally look up at the sky, and I don't know what created this planet, but whoever did created the things that create those meds, and they help me out immensely, my man. So I would say go with your gut and do research about who you're going to see, because this is your kid. So, like, there's websites that you can just look. And the best thing that I've always done and my parents do is you look at their picture. You're like, can you trust this person? Because you don't want to go with someone who's grumpy. You want to go with someone that actually cares. Because I've seen people over the years that were like, oh, yeah, get them on Zoloft. But you really want to see somebody who's going to really want to know what med to get them on, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my man. Is that a good answer for you?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for your bit. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, my man. All right, bye. Yeah, I remember there'd be some people I'd be like, yeah, I'm hyper. I have a hard time sitting down. And they're like, cool. Here's Zoloff. Get out of my office. Hi, you're on the air.
Hello?
What's happening? What's your name?
Yeah, Chris, I have a crazy story to tell you.
Please tell me.
So somebody, it was Kelta, I think, was talking about the gypsy woman living in the van, begging for gas. I just ran into him. I swear to you. I just heard about someone talking about this on the radio.
Well, that's
crazy. I pull out my phone. I'm like, you're famous, lady. Do you know you're famous? People talk about you.
Yeah.
And some Middle Eastern guy jumped out of the van, started screaming at me in Arabic.
Wow.
I started recording. It was crazy.
Bro, be safe out there. All right, thank you. I was getting, I had to dump it. I was getting very nervous out there. There's a lot of things were being, 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You know what I do want to know? Speaking of people that live in vans, remember Tampa Bay when I think his name was Teddy the van guy, and he lived in the van that was at the Wawa on 22nd Avenue, which was my Wawa for about 6 years, one of the best Wawas ever. I loved the Wawa on 22nd Avenue. Flawless Wawa. Amazing. Their pretzels, their soft pretzels, to die for. And I remember I would go there with my ex, and she was really creeped out by the van guy. So I don't know what he's up to, and I miss him because it was like you're talking to someone that lives in a van. Like, I always find it fascinating where people's lives take them. So that's just a side note. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. We are about to get up and out of here. I want to let you guys know that for all the latest shows on 102.5 The Bone, make sure you download the 102.5 The Bone app in the Google Play and iOS shop. Search up 102.5 The Bone. You can hear the best of Mike Calta. You can hear the best of Roger and JP, Drew Garabo with John Senning, Spike on the mic with Gareth and a cat named Mo with Gareth and Spike, and then the Johnny B Show is on the app, as well as some of the weekend shows I produce, like Miggs and Swig and the Myco Radio Show. If you want to hear more of what I just did, if you love it, go to every single major platform that has a podcast and search up Hoppe Radio, HOPPE Radio, and there you can listen. I try to keep it very spare. That's not the right word. Whenever I promote my podcast, I try not to do it too often because I believe if my podcast is that good, which it is, it will manifest into a morning show. But I'm saying I don't want to let people know. I feel like the people that are really talented don't have to let you know all the time about where they're going to be, because there's google.com, and if you type in my name, everything is going to show up. I just think it's nauseating when you're like, oh my God, check out my work, blah, blah, blah. We get it. If they want to check it out, they will. Everybody's got a smartphone in their pocket. You know what I mean? You don't need to let everybody know all the time. Also, coming up today on 102.5 The Bone, it's Roger and JP, Drew Garabo live with John Senning, a cat named Mo with Spike and Gareth, and then Johnny B. I want to thank Mike Calta for everything. I am not here to kiss his ass, but let me tell you, and this is not anybody in radio in this building, but I have seen some radio people, man, that treat that job like they are the king. You would think that they were royalty from overseas. They get such a big ego and such a big head that they think they matter. And then when you leave the town, nobody knows who that person is. But Mike Calta, let me tell you, this guy, I am grateful to have him as a friend, and Tampa Bay is so lucky to have him as the morning show here in town. And Tampa Bay is lucky. We are blessed. We have been able to manifest 10 years of 102.5 The Bone being the best talk radio in all of America. Do you hear what the other talk radio is doing? It's working, and they're making their millions, but they talk for 7 minutes, do traffic and weather, blah, blah, blah. Here at The Bone, we talk from between 38 minutes to 45 minutes an hour Because without the Bone fam and the truck drivers and everybody who listens all day, I'm not saying 102.5 The Bone wouldn't be here, but you guys make it a special occasion. You guys make it fun. Even if you send hateful messages or whatnot, you spent the 24 hours you have in a day to message us. And at least for me, that means a lot. In the age of TikTok and podcasts and whatnot, the fact that 102.5 The Bone is thriving, it is amazing to see, and it's amazing to work here. Up next is Roger and JP, and I am out of here. I appreciate you listening, and have an amazing day.
It's the Mike Calta After Show on 102.5 The Bone.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.